The mic up, and hello to people on YouTube and on Facebook. If you're getting ready for the 7:15 live streaming weather show, this is meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. I'll be with you in under a minute. My clock says 7:14, and we start right at 7:15. So. Hi everyone, this is meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. It's 7:15. We are doing the First Alert 7:15 live streaming weather show for you. And something new as of this show, those of you that watch on YouTube no longer have to watch it while it's live. It's being recorded and you'll be able to play it back later. So if you can't let's say you get home from work at 7:25 and you want to see the entire weather show on YouTube, you can now do that. So we are live on Roku TV, we are live on Facebook, we are live on our streaming channel, which you can access via our website or our two apps, our news app and weather app, and we're also live on YouTube, and we have been for quite some time, but now it is recorded and preserved so that if you can't see it right at 7:15, you can get it whenever you want, or you can go back and references and see how good we did with the forecast. All right, so first of all, let's take a look at our live camera from Mount Auburn looking to the northeast over toward Norwood. Now if you go over that smokestack, you're heading toward Avondale. If you go right through the center of the screen, you'd be heading over to Norwood, and to the right of the screen you'd head over toward O'Brienville, Oakley, Hyde Park, Mount Lookout, those areas. And that car there on the bridge, well, that is McMillan Street. It's turning left to go onto the on-ramp on 71 North, and you can see some of the traffic on 71. Just thought you'd like to be able to orient yourself right there. Okay, so this is our Clovernook Country Club camera. You know, I really thought there'd be some more people out there on a nice day like this. It's hot. Well, not hot. I don't consider it hot until it hits 90. You may have a different opinion. But with this low humidity, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous evening around the tri-state. So we are, again, talking about a great day today, a little bit of much-needed rain tomorrow, a bit more on Wednesday. So I think we've got 2 days when we could see more than just a dust settler. The rain we had on Sunday, only 7/100ths of an inch officially at the International Airport. A few spots got more, but that puts us officially over 3 inches shy, about 3.15 inches shy for the month, 3.14 inches shy for the month of June. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rainfall forecast. This is using the Climate Forecast System model, and it says through the 22nd of July that we are going to see about 3.5 inches of rainfall. Now the thing about this is I've been doing this now for a couple weeks as we saw the drought conditions developing to help keep you informed. And the models haven't varied much. They've dropped to as low as 2.9 inches, as high as 3.7 inches, but generally they've been saying somewhere around 3.5 inches of rain into the latter part of July. Okay, so if we take a look at how much is needed, that's the top line, and it's called potential evapotranspiration. It's really just the demand. It's the amount of water evaporated from the soil and the amount of water that is transpired by plants. Okay, and that would be 6.4 inches. Well, 3.5 inches is, what we're going to get. Now let's take a look at a kind of a balance sheet for the rainfall. In May, officially, Cincinnati was 0.89 of an inch in excess of normal. In June so far, through today, we're 3.14 inches short of normal. That's a lot for the growing season. The forecast demand is 6.4 inches, and the forecast supply, or the accumulated rainfall, 3.5 inches. Now, if you take all the pluses and minuses and total them up, you end up with a deficit of 5.15 inches, or minus 5.15. It's that much below what we need between now and the 25th of July. So we are talking about some very, very dry weather coming into the tri-state. And that's not good news. That's really bad news at this point in the growing season for farmers. For those of us that just have to worry about watering our lawns or our gardens, we can handle that. But when you have acres and acres of corn or soybeans that need the water, there's not much you can do about it. You just have to hope that we do get the rainfall. And we've got a chance tomorrow, and we've got a chance on Wednesday of getting some rain. I think a little bit more on Wednesday. I don't think we see anything severe. We might see a few heavy downpours, but I think a lot of us will get a good soaking rain in between tomorrow morning. It doesn't start until tomorrow later in the morning, so your morning commute will be dry. But we do have a chance of getting some much needed rainfall. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forecast drought. It looks like from late June into early July, we could be suffering from a severe drought. Right now, we're under excessive dryness. And that, depending on what happens tomorrow and Thursday. Now, the drought monitor comes out on Thursday. Okay, Tuesday is the last day they take into account. So if we get 2 wet days, Wednesday will not be in this. So we are looking at abnormally dry from last week's drought monitor, which comes out on Thursday. And I think we're going to end up with some form of a drought as we look at this Thursday's. And then we'll just have to see how it works out from there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the drought situation through the end of July. Still looks like severe drought heading for the tri-state. Now, this may change if we get enough rainfall a couple of times. That could definitely change it, but that is what the forecast looks like at the present time. And doing long-range forecasting is really tricky, but we're pretty confident this is going to happen. Now, watch what happens here. Now, I'm going to put this full screen. Here is where the jet stream is. You see where these lines are close together? Okay, so this is where the jet stream is, right in here. So the jet stream dips southward here over the Gulf of Alaska, comes back in on the coast in British Columbia, Washington, and Oregon, heads across the northern tier of the United States, southern tier of Canada, and then dives into the east coast. And that puts us kind of under the jet stream and in the storm track, and that means tomorrow and Wednesday we could see some shower activity. Here's the really, really hot air, and then as I put this into motion, watch what happens out here, okay? Hot air here, and watch what happens over the southeastern United States. So we'll put this to full screen again, put it into motion, and look at this. Watch, there's another dip in the jet stream, but right there over the southeast, that hot air mass over Texas and the one over the Atlantic kind of bridge, and we end up with steamy weather. And that number you see right there, that 104, that is the forecast heat index for 6:10 p.m. Saturday, the 29th. Okay, so it's coming up this Saturday. We're looking at basically the possibility of another really hot and steamy weather, some excessive heat back into the tri-state. And it's not a good situation because that's typically dry. And then as we head past that, notice the hot air kind of recedes a little bit, then comes back. We're kind of on the edge of it. We're not near the center like we were before, but even as late as Wednesday the 3rd, we could see heat index values as high as 98 degrees. So we are talking about more hot, steamy weather on the way, and that kind of weather typically doesn't have a great deal of rainfall. So let's go ahead and take a look at the current temperatures. This is the 7 p.m. temperatures. I've got temperatures in the low and upper 80s around the tri-state right now. But here's the difference between last week and this evening. Look at the heat index values. Okay, let me go back one more time. Let's say, let's watch CVG's 85, Lebanon is 82. Okay, so if we go to the heat index values, the heat index value in Lebanon is only 1 degree warmer than the temperature. The heat index in CVG is 1 degree cooler than the temperature. So heat index values and temperatures very close when the humidity is on the decent side. And so that adds up to comfortable weather for this evening around the tri-state. So this evening, the sun sets at 9:08. We drop from a current temperature of 85 to about 72 by 11 p.m., so it's a 13-degree drop, but it all adds up to a very pleasant evening around the tri-state. 6:14 is when the sun comes up in the morning. The overnight low is 65 degrees. That's not bad. And for your morning commute, we've got dry roads, a partly cloudy sky. Winds will be light, humidity higher than it was this morning, but still not oppressive, and temperatures for the morning commute in the low to mid-60s. Okay. Now, this is where we start looking at the rainfall. Okay, so here is a band of rain that's coming in. This is 11 a.m. on Tuesday, and you can see it's in the Connersville area. It's moving into Liberty here in Union County. It's about to move into Brookville. It's about to move into Greensburg and Batesville, and that's 11 a.m. Now, again, we'll go to full screen so you can see it better, and I'll put it into motion. Now, watch what happens to the amount of yellow there, okay? So we put this into motion, and the yellow kind of disappears. So as that rain moves across the tri-state, and this is noon now, where it's moving right through the center part of the viewing area, we're down to scattered showers. So the best chance of a soaking rainfall is from Connersville to Liberty to Brookville to Batesville and Greensburg on into maybe Oxford and parts of Butler County, and then it kind of dies out. And if we watch what happens in the afternoon, it really kind of dies out even more, and we go into dry weather for the homebound commute. So the morning commute dry, the homebound commute dry, but in between, a little bit of rainfall. And then if you've got tickets for tomorrow evening's Reds game, that looks pretty good. It'll be hot, it'll be humid, but it will not be rainy. Okay, now we put this back into motion. As we head into the late evening, some more scattered showers and thunderstorms develop. Overnight, they become much more widespread. I don't think we see anything severe here. What we do, we'll see a few heavy downpours, but for the most part, it looks like steady and fairly widespread rain at 5 a.m. If we put this back into motion, you'll see that the steady, heavier rainfall kind of shifts to the south. That's at 7 a.m. And so just hit and miss for the morning commute Wednesday, and then more rain all the way into the afternoon hours, and then beginning to dry out by the time we get into Wednesday late afternoon and evening. Now, with this system, even though the Storm Prediction Center says it's just a marginal risk of getting a severe storm or two, I think there's a chance for a few near severe storms with this and a few spots with heavier rainfall, but for the most of us, it'll be rain. Maybe you'll hear a clap of thunder, but we're not looking at a widespread outbreak of severe weather during the day on Wednesday. And then it clears out as we head on into Wednesday evening, but a few more showers up here to the northwest may move in before they completely end, and drier weather comes in for Thursday. So tomorrow, high temperature makes it up to 90. Take a look at the normal high, 86, the record high, 102. So we're much closer to the normal high than a record. So it will be a warm day. It'll be a humid day. And the heat index will be probably in the upper 90s tomorrow. Here's your 7-day forecast. Look for a low tonight of 65, a high tomorrow of 90. That heat index probably up into the upper 90s, with spotty showers and thunderstorms coming to an end in the afternoon. Scattered showers and thunderstorms Wednesday, mainly early in the day. Thursday, mostly sunny, much less humid. Friday, up to 88, and decent humidity coming our way. We peak at 93 on Saturday. Now, if you remember when we were looking at the forecast map, Saturday's the day that had that 104-degree heat index. Okay, so remember, Saturday, if you've got some outdoor plans, there might be some thunderstorm activity around the area. Even if it's not severe, don't discount the danger of lightning. Lightning is the most dangerous part of a thunderstorm. And again, I say this all the time. If you've watched me for years, you're probably sick and tired of me saying it. But for those of you that don't know, never, ever, ever seek refuge during a thunderstorm under a tree. It's the worst possible place you can be. You're much better out in the middle of the field. Okay, when you're out in the middle of the field, you're in the wide open, you feel like you're exposed. Get as low as you can with as little contact with the ground as you can. And most of the time we say the best way to do that is the baseball catcher's position. So crouch down, a little bit of, on your toes, perhaps not most of your feet in contact with the ground, and wait it out, because it's not safe under a tree. There's never an instance where being under a tree is safe during a thunderstorm. Okay, so we played with a couple 90s here Saturday and Monday. Let's take a look at beyond the 7-day forecast now and take a look at that. So we've got Monday with a high of 91, and then in the 90s for 7 straight days. Once again, a few of those days will have high humidity and heat index values over the 100-degree mark, and so we are right back into what we just had, just a little bit of a break that we're going through, a welcome break we're going through right now, and maybe some welcome rainfall. Okay, then let's take a look at our summary graphic here. Our 7-day plus, high temperatures above normal for 14 straight days, Low temperatures above normal for 14 straight days. And look at the number of 90s. I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of 14 days in the 90s. So that is quite a bit of another heat wave. That would be the second heat wave of the year because we had a break from it. The high only in the 80s yesterday, the high today in the upper 80s, but with lower humidity, not as bad. And generally, for this part of the world, a heat wave is considered 3 consecutive days with high temperatures 90 or higher. And remember, that's always relative because if you would go to Phoenix, Arizona and say, oh my gosh, we're going to have 3 consecutive days with high temperatures of 90, they would say, oh, it's going to cool off quite a bit, huh? So the definition that we use, that's typically used around here, and there's really no official definition, is that 3 days in a row with high temperatures in the 90s is like a mini heat wave. In Phoenix, it would be 110 and higher. I mean, because it's ungodly hot out in Phoenix. The first time I was ever to Las Vegas, same kind of climate as Phoenix, it was 120 degrees. We got off the plane and walked across the runway, and the thermometer said 120 degrees. So we went right to the hotel. The hotel had a rooftop pool. We were swimming in the pool, and when you get out of the pool with 120 degrees, and the relative humidity was at 1 to 2%, you get almost instant evaporation. You actually get chilled. Can you believe it? 120 degrees, and you feel chilled because there's so much evaporation, and that evaporation is removing so much heat from your body. Okay, now's the time, and eventually we're going to work on this. This is the first day that we have been live with recording on YouTube. We've been this on Facebook, and we're working out a way that we can take comments from both Facebook and YouTube at the same time. I know it's not difficult. We just have to get the logistics worked out here. But this is, if you're a new watcher, usually what I do is go through the entire forecast. And one thing those of you that watch all the time might have missed is I usually do the 6 to 10 day, the 10 to 14 day outlooks. Well, today the Climate Prediction Center was not accessible on the internet, so I couldn't download the data. And so we'll look at those again tomorrow, but you've already seen what it looks like. So, okay, so let me go to Facebook here, okay, and see how many people are watching, or see the number of people watching. Karen Hiller says hello from Bethel, Ohio. Hi, Karen. Patrick, oh boy. Okay, getting a lot of comments. Patrick Robson. Patrick Robson's a Skywarn storm spotter, and he loves getting updates on the weather. And that's why we're here, Patrick, to give you updates and also to keep an eye out for severe weather. So when you're a Skywarn storm spotter, you play a very, very important role in the overall story of us, not just us, but all of us that take care of getting the weather information to you, of doing that. So Skywarn storm spotters have made a huge difference over the years and how safe people are. And so if you ever meet one, tell them thanks because they do a great service. Patrick, thank you for watching. Hi, Jane Lawson. How are you? Yeah, it is a wonderful day. No doubt about it. Without that humidity, it felt great out there. Melvin Stone Street says, it's going to rain this week. Did I have a good weekend? Absolutely. I had a great weekend. Did about 10 miles of walking with my dogs. Didn't get to grill out this weekend, but definitely had a good weekend because I did some more work in the yard, watered some of the plants that needed watering. My wife and I just kind of chilled out and had a few of my favorite beverages. I won't advertise them. Joanne McAllister says she loves summer, especially on days like this, Joanne, I'm sure. You may not love what's coming our way. And then Ricky Gutters is watching from Louisville. Okay, well, from Louisville. When I first started on TV, I started calling it Louisville, and I would get comments from people in Kentucky says Louisville. So from Louisville. So welcome. It's a great city. I love Louisville. So thanks, Ricky, for watching. Okay, and let's see, boys. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, and he said he's a fan of Fox. Ricky from Louisville said he's a fan of Fox 19, even though he doesn't live here anymore. Well, thank you very much, Ricky. We're glad you're watching us on this. Christina Ann Ward, hello from Latonia. Hi, Christina. Hope Latonia's doing well tonight. And Clayton Simmons, hello from New Vienna, Ohio. We need rain, LOL. Yeah, we all do. And Clayton, I think you've got a chance tomorrow. I think the best chances on our northwestern counties that weekends that come our way. So maybe just a dust settler by the time it gets to New Vienna tomorrow. But a much better chance on Wednesday. And let's hope that most of us get a soaking rain on Wednesday because we really do need it. I mean, I can't believe how dry my lawn and all that is. It's just, I mean, we're 3.14 inches shy of what we need just for this month. So, okay, and that's all the comments right now. Let me go back, and while we're waiting for some more to come in, and again, before I go back to the forecast, let me mention this. This is the first time that we are not only live on YouTube, but up until tonight, if you didn't catch us while we were live on YouTube, you couldn't catch us at all. It just went away. But our engineers, especially a guy named Taylor Sunderhouse, has set it up so that it is now recorded and it's archived. So let's say you want to watch it on YouTube, and you can do the same thing on Facebook. It's always there on Facebook. But if you watch it on YouTube and you don't get the start of it and you missed it, you can always now look at it because it is archived and you can see it later on. So thanks to Taylor for handling that, and hope that helps everybody else out that's been watching on YouTube. And we're working on it. It may take a week or two because we've got to get everybody familiar with how to set up YouTube. It's a little bit different than Facebook. But once we get YouTube set up and everybody's comfortable with it, then we're going to we'll be able to start taking comments from YouTube and from Facebook, and so we can answer questions from more people. And that's the whole idea, okay? We want to make sure that, now like tonight, not much is going on. We're just talking about the droughtiness, the chance of rain. But during severe weather, I mean, what will happen is if we break into programming in the studio, it'll be live here also. Okay, so we've got you covered more than just on Fox 19's TV channel. On the streaming setup, we've got you covered there. And so we're trying to make it available in as many places, on as many platforms as possible, so it's easy for you to access it, and you can access it in your favorite way. And so that's the whole idea. Let's see. All right, so let me go back and we'll review the forecast now. And then if there aren't any more comments, we'll call it a day. And let's see, I've got to stop this. And all right, and I will have to I will make it full screen, so when the 7-day forecast comes up, you'll see it full screen, and then we will then call it a day if there are no more comments around the area. Okay, so here's your 7-day forecast. We are looking at a low tonight of 65, a high tomorrow of 90. The scattered thunderstorm activity should come to an end in the afternoon. Wednesday, scattered showers and thunderstorms mainly during the first 2/3 of the day, so from morning into afternoon. High of 85. Tomorrow, quite a bit more humid, heat index in the upper 90s, mid to upper 90s, I should say. Thursday, much less humid with a high of 82. A nice day on Friday with a high of 88. Again, the heat index on Friday probably at or below the temperature. The heat index soars on Saturday to the low 100s in many locations. 88 for Sunday with high humidity and isolated thunderstorms. And then pretty nice on Monday, okay? Monday, the high of 91, but the dew points will have dropped a little bit, so the heat index won't be oppressive. But here we go, and beyond the 7-day forecast, so we've already got one 90 in a row. Now we add 7 more, so we should end up with 8 days in a row with high temperatures around or higher than the 90-degree mark. That's from the 2nd of July up to the 8th. And right now, just FYI, now again, remember, a lot can change before the 4th of July, but right now it just looks hot, it looks humid, and it looks dry for the 4th of July. So we're keeping our fingers crossed on that. And I tell you what, when I was a kid and I look back on it, it seems like every 4th of July was hot and dry, and we all waited for the fireworks in shorts and a t-shirt because it was so hot and dry. I don't remember too many wet 4th of Julys, but of course, you remember the fireworks, you remember the picnic, you remember the apple pie and the ice cream. You don't remember the day, the 4th that it rained. And so we're going to be back into the heat wave, I'm afraid. This will be heat wave number 2 for the year with very little rainfall. And so even though some spots could conceivably get a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain between tomorrow and Wednesday, and that will alleviate things a bit, but it's not going to hold off drought conditions very long. And then here's that summary graphic. High temperatures in the 80s to 90s, low temperatures in the 70s. Both highs and lows for 14 straight days, warmer than normal, and precipitation isn't on there, but it certainly looks like precipitation will be below normal for that 14-day stretch. Okay, let me go back to Facebook, see if we got any more people here on Facebook. Okay, let's see. Christina Ward said from New Vienna. Oh, Bob Altmans. 99 in Omaha, Nebraska, hot. Now, Bob, I don't know if you looked up Omaha. If you're from Omaha, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my niece and nephew live in Omaha. Actually, both the kids were born here because my sister-in-law was in med school at UC, and then she moved back to Omaha for her practice. So, very familiar with Omaha. I went and did grad school in Lincoln, Nebraska. And then we had a couple courses in grad school that were taught 1 week in Lincoln and 1 week at the University of Nebraska in Omaha. So Omaha's a great city, great bike trails, a lot of great stuff out that way. So Bob, if you're in Omaha, thanks for watching, and please join us again. All right. Okay, one more word here, or a couple more words here before we go. Let me see what, okay, I just wanted to make sure I was on screen. Again, we have been doing this for quite some time, and we've been live on a bunch of different platforms most of the time, mainly Facebook, okay? And so we continue, same as usual on Facebook, but today marks the first day that if you have been viewing us on YouTube, you don't have to catch us while we're live. You can now catch us after the fact. So if you, let's say, get home just after the show ends, it'll now be recorded and ready for you to review. If you want to go back a week from now and see how wrong the forecast was, hopefully it won't be, you can do that too, because we now will have them archived on YouTube. So that was one of the a couple of the comments we got from people watching on YouTube said, well, every once in a while I can't catch the show and then it's gone. Well, we've remedied that. And in the future, what we're working on, and it's not that hard for us to do, but we have to get accustomed to being live on YouTube, setting it up, because it takes a little bit of extra time to set up both Facebook and YouTube, and get comfortable with that. And as soon as we're comfortable with all that, we'll start taking comments off of YouTube also. So we'll have comments from Facebook, comments from YouTube. We'll try and answer as many, if not all of them, every show, and we'll do that for the foreseeable future. So right now, every Monday through Friday, we've got the 7:15 live streaming weather show with me or whoever is substituting for me. I'll be on vacation in the late July, and I think it'll be Frank Marzullo in here. We also have every Monday through Friday at noon. Our noon shows are restricted to 20 to 25 minutes because the bandwidth has to be used for other stuff at that time. So we have one Monday through Friday at noon. And then meteorologist Ashley Smith at 11 a.m. Saturday and Sunday has her half-hour live show, and that can go longer if she has enough comments. And then meteorologist Ethan Emery at 6 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday has live streaming shows. So that's 1 hour, 2 hours. So we're on about 6 hours streaming, along with our 13 and a half hours of news every day. And that's our effort to know that you need weather information at times when we're not on the air. So we're trying to be on the air, or at least accessible via streaming, as often as possible. So that's what we're doing, and I thank you very much for watching. Let's see. And I like to finish the show with this slate because it tells you that we are sponsored by Cost Saver. Cost Saver, by sponsoring the show, helps defray the cost of the equipment, the bandwidth, maintenance, things like that, and that's considerable. So thank you to Cost Saver. Thank you to everybody that watched tonight. I'll be back tomorrow at 7:15, and we will have more. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk about some spots that got some soaking rain during the day tomorrow. That's it for now. Thanks for joining me.